Hello everyone. How's everyone doing? I'm good. It's a nice day in Florida. It's not so hot. It's cooler today, so it's nice. I'm here today again with another video um, of sharing. This one is called Look at Yourself. Um, you know when you do you ever see yourself sometimes and realize just in me I'm not like that, or because um I can, like, I used to talk about people and see how horrible I can just see not how people can be mean, or I can see they have attitude, and it's just like, this person have a bad attitude, and it's like everywhere I go it's like that. I see people with that are mean and have bad attitude, notice everything, and it's like when I go home it's like I'm just thinking of this person. Oh, this person, this or that, and I never really would see myself at that time and see that I too have a bad attitude. you know it's easy to see other people and judge, but I'm talking about myself. I never really see that I am and was like that. I'm still working on myself and learning. Uh, yeah, because I used to have a very, really bad attitude, and then yeah, sometimes it comes out. So when you see people and you're just like, so for me it's just like, I am so irritated by everywhere I go. It's like I see people like this. Why are people like this? Like, really observe and think, why do I always run to the same kind of person, same kind of people? And really check yourself. And when I say, I like that when people say check yourself, I mean check yourself deeply. Why? Why do you always run into the same kind of people? Or why does it even bother you? Because I would just be like, when I come home and my family is talking to me, I'm just like in this mode, like, and it can stay with me, and it can stay for the whole day. Like, I'm just like this because someone just up and pissed me off. Do you so really see why? Why does it bother me so much? And why it's just like I'm so irritated, and I'm just in a bad mood, and now I'm pissed at my family because somebody just made me so mad. Yeah. Like, why do they bother you so much? Like, that's what when I said check yourself and check yourself deeply. What does that mean? Like, reflect on why does it bother you so much? Because it sure bothered me then. I didn't understand why. Um, you know, and I'm like that before. I would just start talking about this person, this or this. Everywhere I go, I'll just be like, oh my gosh, why are you like this? You know, judging other people for being this way or being a certain way that just doesn't live up to my expectations of how people should be, right? You know, when they say before you point your fingers, make sure that your fingers are clean. Well, I do. I did because I had that kind of um, energy, vibration, that kind of vibe. Only I didn't see it. I didn't. Um, I didn't realize I had a really bad attitude. So when you see other people and you're judging how horrible people are, yeah, maybe really reflect on that. Why should it bother you so much? And like, how are you as a person? How are you when you're out and about? Are you do you think that maybe you have the same kind of vibe? Is it a bad attitude, or do you think that you're better? Like, and what is it about them that you just don't like? Because in my case, they were me. They were different people, and they were just mirroring back to me versions of myself, different, of just that I didn't like, and it was me. I had that, and so that was they were they were mirroring back to me when I and when you see encounter that, how do you react? Because I may react the same way, right? It's normal, like why? So when I say check yourself deeply, and when you do, um, really see how it is. Because for when I started really reflecting on myself, how I am, how I was as a person, I didn't like it. I started seeing myself like the same way. I was the same way because people kind of show you versions of themselves what they don't like, and it's yeah, and sometimes it can be like that, um, mirroring. So the thing is, how do you react? Do you react the same way because maybe they're just hurting? They are hurting if they're acting like that, right? And when you start seeing yourself like that, when I start looking at myself like, oh my God, I have a really bad attitude. That is not an easy thing to admit to yourself that you are like that you can be mean, that you can be have a very bad attitude, and I was. I'm not perfect. I'm far from that, but I'm still working on myself. um, and when you start seeing that, that's when you kind of become aware of it. When you're aware of it, that's when you can change it a little. And it's not easy to change it either. It's work. That's what they call it's the work. Um, you're working on yourself, so you're not like that, because then you everywhere you go, you will meet the same different people, but the same kind of vibration. It's like they just so projecting. They're projecting their things, whatever it is. Their stuff. I say stuff. When you become aware that when I became aware that I was like that, it hurt. It hurt me. It's and that's not an easy thing to do, to admit it to yourself that hey, you can be maybe a bitch for no reason, because those people whoever you're projecting on, whatever it is, how you're feeling, anger or whatever, they don't deserve it. Um, yeah, you, and when you start being aware of it, um, there's also denial. There's also um, like your brain will start telling you, no, you're not this, you're not that, you're not like that. It's not true. Um, so it's very, for me, it, it broke me. Like it broke my heart even. Like no way. Like I'm not like that. And that's when you start working on yourself. And and when you're like that, the admitting part is the part that's hard. And then when you're aware every day, it's like everyone that you meet, you see and you judge, you see how they are, and you judge less. We are very. It's very normal to us to judge other people. Just little things. We see little things, and then we're just like, oh, because. And I notice in myself, I can go off so fast, and then. But the good thing about me is I've learned to pull myself back. Yes, I'm hot-headed, and we'll see. You know why? Um, why am I like this? And work on me. Admitting wrongs is not very easy to do. When you can admit that you are maybe like that and maybe more, then you can change. And it's not easy to admit that. Your mind will make all kinds of excuses, like you're not that, and you will start. Just watch it, because it'll start. Your mind will start saying you're not like that, or start making excuses like, oh, I was like this because that person was like that. That person said that, or they said this, that's why I was like that. Well, there's no excuse for being mean, right? That's why we tend to make excuses, to put, like, it's like we don't want to see our wrongs, like you see something that is broken and you don't want to see it, and you just want to put something on it to cover the part that is broken. Maybe something that is pretty, maybe a flower, but it's broken, right? It's an example. So if you can see yourself and admit it to yourself, that is the first step, and it's the hardest one. I applaud you for doing that, because that's very brave. And from then that's when you change. And you judge less. People this or people that. No. Why? Because you know that no one is perfect, and you're not. I'm not. I'm not perfect at all. I'm here to share on what I've learned about myself. Not so pretty ones also. I think an attitude. And also I want to say, sometimes some people are just authentic like that. We might judge them for being mean or whatever, but sometimes they're not. They're just authentic like that, and they are straightforward, and they say whatever they want to say. And when I learned that, because my mother was like that, very straightforward kind of person, and she was not a bad person at all. But she can be sometimes. Oh, but what I'm trying to say is we judge a lot, and that is because what I learned is we judge ourselves a lot. There's a lot about ourselves that we don't like. That's why we judge other people. But if you can admit that you too have those kind of qualities, those kind of versions of yourself that is maybe this or that, whatever it is, that is not pretty at all, then that's when you create change for yourself. Yeah, we. I had to say that because I too judged a lot, and I see other people. When I get to know other people that I've judged, I realize they're not that at all. They're just very. That's just the way they are. That's just who they are. They're just honestly, they're in their truth like that. So when you don't see wrongs or admit your wrongs, you could be like, when you don't see who you are and you just can't or refuse to admit your wrongs, it just continues. And you just go on making excuses and then blaming other people for everything, for little things, and it just never stops. um, so yeah, so when you make change for yourself, you judge less, and we are all here to learn from each other, right? When you're like that, you stay in that kind of energy vibration, and it continues, and everywhere you go, people will be put on your path or guided to you to show you over and over again versions of yourself that you need to work on, because we're all here and it's not so great. We're all here to learn from each other. um, Sometimes, yeah, the people that we meet with that we don't like, sometimes, and they have bad attitudes, sometimes they just are showing us versions of ourselves. There's something in them that we have, that and that we're not seeing or we're not working on. So yeah, check yourself. Um, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I always say, love yourself a little bit more. Have a nice day.